Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Benjamin Bakcho again. Today, bringing you a video of my results at the weekly event challenge at Mexico with the classic cars, and to give you guys some pointers on how to get better at this game. So I'll just kind of go through this race intro real quick. Looks like there's only two guys that really worry us. This Jimsy guy up there with the platinum status, platinum ranking, I should say, and then another guy at the bottom with like a full gold ranking. So not too worried. Um, other than those two guys, hopefully we just start off in the front row or on pole. Um, I think we were about 40, mid 40s in the qualifying time rankings. So they had the Brazilian with the triple gold ranking and Jimsy with the platinum guy are the only guys that we were really worried about. But we started on pole anyway, and those guys started in the back, so it wasn't too nerve-wracking for me. And the race was kind of boring, but I showed you guys the first lap, the last lap, and just the end of the laps in between. But more importantly, wanted to talk to you guys about how I personally use the weekly events and the esports qualifying events to get faster and better at this game. So these the, these kind of races where you're just qualifying and doing a race on the weekend, um, these can still kind of be helpful. Maybe not so much the classic cars, just because other than the weekly events, people aren't really using the classic cars to race. But this new week that's come up, there's a multiplayer car race at Coda. So what I do for those are go into time trials, try to find a setup that'll give me decent times. Every day I'll do a few laps in time trials to reacquaint myself with the track, and then I'll run a Grand Prix race against the AI with a difficulty at my baseline difficulty, which is 105. Um, at the beginning of the week, that's what I'll do, and then eventually, as the week progresses, I'll up the difficulty a bit. 106, 107, 108, um, and see how I do when I raise the difficulty up higher. But the great events for getting better at this game are the challenges where you're placed in a certain car and you're challenged with getting a certain position on track. I think 2 weeks ago, um, last week's was the I think last week's was the Austria challenge with the C1 classic cars. But before that, I think before that there was a Paul Ricard in the Ferrari challenge, and then a few weeks prior there was you were driving the Red Bull at Zandvoort. Um, so those kind of weekly event challenges, and also the esports qualifying events. There was a McLaren at Coda, and before that there was Mercedes in Italy at Monza. So those are the best kind of events to use to get better at tracks. So what I generally do is run them at the baseline difficulty with the racing line on at 105. Um, and then um, once I kind of get an idea of where I'm at my baseline difficulty, then I'll lower the difficulty to like 100. Um, and then turn off the racing line. So not only is this helping you get faster at certain tracks, it's also helping you get acquainted with the tracks without the racing line. So if you want to turn off that last assist, the racing line assist, this will help you as well. So I'll run it at 100 without the racing line, and then throughout the week, every day, just bump that difficulty up by one and just keep retrying the challenge and try to get better and better. And eventually, obviously, you'll want to try to get to 110. And that's kind of what I do on those challenges. And I love those kinds of weekly challenges and esports qualifying challenges. Um, it helped me uh, it helped me at those tracks greatly, especially Monza. Um, I can now race at 110 without the racing line, and I can either win or at the very least keep up with the Hamilton AI. And it helped me out at Zandvoort, not as great as it did at Monza, but at Paul Ricard, I am so much better at Paul Ricard now um, than I was before that weekly event. So just to kind of get an idea of my background, I really only started playing the F1 games heavily since F1 2019. I bought my G29 um, just to play F1 2019. Um, and I started at 60 AI driver level, and I was stuck there for the longest time. Once I kind of figured out the mechanics of the game, I could I could push it up to 90, and then 90 was my ceiling for up until F1 2020 came out, and I just could not get any better. I was just playing a driver career at 90 and not really pushing myself difficulty wise, and I was just kind of stagnant in my lap times. And it wasn't until I started doing the weekly challenges and then kind of pushing the difficulty um, a little bit at a time, kind of getting out of my comfort zone, um, that I started noticing better lap times. So if I have to give you a tip, a general tip is just you need to you need to get out of your comfort zone. Um, Try to push that difficulty up as high as you can. Use those kinds of weekly events and esports qualifying events, and definitely um, you know raise that difficulty to outside your comfort zone. That's the only way that you're going to get better. Um, these kinds of events, the ones that you're seeing, and the multiplayer cars. Uh, at tracks every week, those can be helpful too. But I really like the pressure of the having to gain certain positions on track, because you can gauge your how well you're improving better uh, with the with pushing the difficulty up. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but at least those are my preferred ways of improving myself and kind of figuring out where I'm at. But I hope this has somewhat helped you guys a little bit. I hope my weekly event videos have helped you guys out a little bit, especially with these classic cars where there's very minimal info on the internet with setups and stuff like that. I'll let you guys watch this final lap. It was kind of a boring race. As you can see up on the timing chart, we're well over a minute ahead of P2 and P3. But it was still a fun week. The McLaren 98 McLaren's not really my favorite car. Mexico is not my favorite track, but I still thoroughly enjoyed the race. And who doesn't love it when they dominate the competition? Um, but other than that, this race was kind of not so interesting as far as action is concerned, anyway. But I'm happy with the result, and I will take this result any day of the week. A little controversy here at the end of the race, not involving me really, just because there weren't really any cars near us by about halfway through the first lap. But I'll let you guys see, and you let me know what you think of this incident. So at the end of the race, we're gonna jump into um, spectator cam with P2 and P3. So as you can see, P2's got 15 seconds worth of penalties. This Mblubre guy, and Jimsy in P3 at this moment has 9 seconds of penalty. Throughout the race, every time I looked up the timing chart, they were pretty darn close, so it looks like they've been racing pretty closely all race. And as I'm sure you guys know, when you're battling with somebody all race long, uh, there's tension there that's really building up. And Jimsy's right on the gearbox of P2 here. And I was not expecting the ending that I saw. So as you can see, coming into, I believe this is the final sector. Yeah, end of sector 2, coming into sector 3. Jimsy here in P3 gets a pretty good run here into the final couple of corners, but he gets a corner cut. So now he's on 12 seconds of penalties, and P3 and Malubre's on 15. Jimsy gets a little tap from behind, and Malubre jumps out in front. Looks like Jimsy's still going to win because of the 3-second difference in the time penalties, but he gets kind of swiped out to the boards there. I'll let you listen in on my live reaction as it happened.
That was dirty as hell.
So you can kind of hear how I felt initially, but I went back and looked at the replay. I don't know. I still thought it was kind of a dirty move, but let me know what you guys think in the comments section. So this week's event is just another multiplayer challenge, qualifying and race at the end of the weekend. So I don't think you guys really need any help with that. Literally just go into time trial, pick out a setup, and just kind of practice. But good luck on the weekend, guys. I hope to see some of you guys in the races. And if you run into me, please don't knock me off the track. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your continued support. And good luck on the weekend, guys. So looks like a lot of people, almost everybody picked up penalties in this race. Not the cleanest race ever. We end up in P8 initially after the race, and then after it was all said and done Monday morning, I was still in P8, so I'm happy with that result. But thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and remember to eat your bok choy, guys.